Ladies and gentlemen, Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, you're good.
My poor wife, right?
Thanks.
So, Ed, here, take a seat.
Okay.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's incredible. So, I was prepping for this, and you and I are roughly the same vintage, and so I was up there near your jersey, and I realized that that's a moment that I will never have. And so I'm wondering, when you come to Springfield, what is it like to cruise through the Hall of Fame and, I don't know, just see your jersey hanging in the Hall of Fame?
It's a dream come true. As a kid, first playing basketball and then finding out that there is a Hall of Fame, it's a place that you want to be. And, this here is the ultimate place for, once your career is done, this is where you want to end up. And it is a true honor to see my face, along with my teammates here in the Hall of Fame.
That team, we're going to talk about that team in a moment. That team, and I have argued with many people in my years on sports talk radio that those early 90s UCLA teams with you and your brother and Cameron and Tyus and Zedek, and I mean, we could keep going. You guys really were at the forefront of ushering in modern March Madness. It was destination watching, because we knew you were going to chuck 92 up every night, right? We knew you were going to put up 88 and just keep running. Even against, 40 minutes of hell didn't matter. You were still going to score 87 points. Was that something y'all talked about early on when you get those teams together?
Yeah, it was something that we planned on. We worked extremely hard in the off season through the summer. We wanted to be the most well-conditioned team in the country. And we knew that we had some scorers on the team. Toby Bailey was a freshman at the time. J.R. Henderson, my brother, was an extremely great athlete. Tyus can put up 20 points in any given night. So we had guys on our team that could score. We wanted to be able to run and then throw in some great defense, which Coach Lavin, our assistant coach, implemented. So, everything kind of clicked for us in 94, 95. And it was definitely, to answer your question, it was definitely a plan in the off season to be able to outscore the teams that we played against and then try and hold them to as few points as possible.
It's remarkable. I still watch those. I just go back and watch those videos. The amount of time from, do you?
Sometimes.
The amount of time from rebound to basket is, you guys were covering 90 feet like there was no, just like crazy. It was unbelievable. But the UCLA Ed O'Bannon almost didn't happen. And I'm fascinated. I've never asked you personally about this. I've wondered about it for years. You grew up in Los Angeles. You're a Los Angeles area guy. And yet, UCLA wasn't necessarily your first choice. How does that happen? How do you go from UNLV, where you almost ended up, which would have been, again, it could have changed the course of basketball history if you think about it.
On its way.
Yeah. How do you go from UNLV to UCLA?
Well, UCLA or UNLV at that time, great question too, by the way. UNLV at that time was #1 in the country. They had Larry Johnson, Stacey. They had just won the national champion, or they were on their way, I should say, on their way to winning their first national championship in the 89-90 season. And so every kid in the country wanted to play for UNLV, play for Coach Tark, play for the Running Rebels. I was no different. They recruited me. They were in my backyard in Las Vegas. They all used to always come out and play against teams in our area anyway. So I grew up watching them play. So I wanted to go to UNLV. Again, they were great. And to me, it was a fit. It was the right fit. Things happen, and my mind had to change. Plan B was in effect, and I ended up going to UCLA.
Let me ask you. Let's play the what if question. If you go to UNLV, does Charlie go to UNLV?
I'd like to say, yes.
Charlie O'Bannon, also an NBA guy, right? I mean, Ed's brother. You guys win that title together, and it's staggering to think of how close that was to you both. I mean, we might be talking about UNLV as a dynasty.
Well, UNLV was on their way.
Yeah.
You know, they had just won a national title. I live in Las Vegas now, and so people around town always say that UCLA's national title actually belongs to UNLV because I was, you know. So anyway, my point is if I had gone there, they say that, you know, we would have went back to back, and then my brother possibly would have come, and a number of other people would have come, and then it would have kind of kept going. So. Yeah, you bring up a great point, and one that I hear a lot living in Las Vegas.
I bet you do.
Yes, for sure. So, but
well,
yeah, that could have been the case.
Just tell them to watch this video. You never have to answer it again. Now, you get to UCLA, and it isn't exactly storybook right away. Ed O'Bannon's adversity was right away. Your knee injury before freshman year, actually before freshman year practice even begins, right? If I'm not mistaken, you were playing some pickup ball, knee goes out, and there was talk about that being a career ender, at least a career-altering injury. Can you talk about those 18 months of rehab, not after already changing, now you're in Los Angeles, you stayed home, and now you have to listen to people chirping for 18 months about Ed O'Bannon getting on the floor. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, you know, when I initially hurt my knee, I tore my ACL, my MCL, I tore a cartilage in my knee, and I chipped a bone.
Gosh.
All from trying to dunk a basketball. I actually dunked it. It's just when I came down wrong. And that happened a week before my freshman year was going to start. So practice started on October 15th. I hurt it, my knee, on October 9th in the Wooden Center on the middle court on the south hoop. I know specifically where I was. I could point out everything about it. And then so I went for, over a year, about 18 months, rehabbing and trying to get back. And initially they said that I would forget about playing. They said that I would probably not walk not walk normally,
right.
Without a limp, basically. So I tried desperately to.
That's incredible. It's like a final destination, right? You just narrowly miss. And so then you get back, and we talked about the roster, right? You, Zedek, your brother, Toby Bailey, Tyus Edney, Cameron Dollar. Is there one guy on that team that you don't think gets enough credit on that national championship team?
Wow. Yes, I think J.R. I often say J.R. Henderson, our freshman. We had 4 freshmen come in that season. J.R. Henderson was a reserve. I always thought that he was the best player on our team. He could literally play all 5 positions, and in fact did during that season at one point or another. He's still playing to this day. He's playing out in Japan. He's had a super long career, and we're proud of him as brothers. But I think he's probably the most underrated player on our team. Tyus is super short, real small. He probably would fit in with a lot of the kids here. He still looks like he's about 10 years old. So I thought he was underrated as well.
Yeah. Now, draft night, 1995, had to have been, I mean, just surreal, right? You go number 9 overall to the New Jersey Nets. But you weren't the only one, right? It was you, and then Zedek went off the board, and then Tyus went. Can you reflect, I mean, it's 22 years later, right? Which is crazy, because we're not old enough for it to be 22 years later. Right. And then you mentioned Henderson still playing. That's crazy to me. Yeah. 22 years later, what was that like, both as an individual and also as a team? Were you all keeping in touch? This was pre-cell phone days, kids, if you could imagine such a thing.
Yes, we're still brothers. We keep in really close contact, one way or another. My brother and I saw him the other day. We're extremely close. I talk to Tyus all the time, and a couple of the other guys, and then we kind of branch off. If you don't talk to this person, that other person, we all kind of basically keep in contact. So, we're still, again, in one way or another, close.
I love hearing that. It puts my childhood as well. Like, right? It's good to know that the guys that I watched still talk.
Yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen and kids, here's the moment I was telling you about. After this next question, I am going to ask for anyone who has a question for Ed O'Bannon. So now's the time to start conceptualizing that. Think about maybe, where did I miss out? Was the question you wish I asked? And in a moment, I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand and be recognized by one of the great Hoop Hall staffers who'll put you in line over here. So there's your fair warning. Now, professionally, you had a really unique opportunity to play 12 teams, 6 countries, and for 15 different coaches. Was there one place that you wished you could have stayed longer, and why?
Well, first of all, unique is definitely a different way of looking at my career, especially in Europe. I love that. Wow. I don't know. Probably Spain. Spain, we love Spain. I have a wife and 3 kids. My wife's first language is Spanish, so it was easy for us to, communicate in Spain verbally and that sort of thing. I played in Italy as well. We absolutely loved Italy. We loved all the places that we were in. I spent 3 years in Poland. Aside from it being extremely cold most of the time, it was a great country. Everyone welcomed us with open arms. But probably our favorite place to be was Spain.
How about from a fan perspective? Where was, outside of the United States, where did you, I hear some, in my role, I hear some crazy stories about international fans.
Yes.
Where were the fans most bonkers?
Wow, Turkey was pretty crazy. I played a half a season in Spain, in Greece as well. We would sit, our bench, the benches that we sat on, we sat in dugouts, because people would throw coins and batteries. As a matter of fact, one time I was in Poland, and we were playing in the team that I was playing on. Our home was in Warsaw, and there were 2 teams in Warsaw. Of course, we were rivals, and they came to our place, and it was snowing. So halfway through the game, there's a technical foul, and the guy is shooting free throws, and out comes a snowball onto the court, and of course it hits and slides across the, and then so someone from that was the visiting team threw it. So now the home team throws one, and so now in the middle of a basketball game during a technical foul, a snowball fight breaks out, and so that was probably the weirdest thing that's ever.
Yeah, that counts.
It was pretty wild. It took 15 minutes because we had to wipe it up and then almost kind of thaw or defrost the floor. So it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
So here's your chance. If you've thought of a question you would like to ask Ed O'Bannon, you can raise your hand now, and the Hoop Hall staffers will come around and recognize you and stick. Oh, I love seeing the kids too. This is great. This is great. So Ed, of course, your most lasting sports legacy, and something that I am most grateful to you for, is your work as a citizen athletic advocate for players present, past, and future. And for those people who aren't aware of the work that Ed O'Bannon has done, you need to just Google it and check it out. In short, you're basically saying that there's no way that your face and name can be used forever without acknowledging your face and name in some way, shape, or form. You're not a product that someone else can just chuck out there forever. When was the moment that you realized that you're not gonna sit on the sidelines, if I could use a sports analogy, that you realized that this was on you? If someone was going to do it, this was gonna be on you?
When I desperately looked for a reason not to be involved.
Wow.
They asked me, I was asked to join the lawsuit and help spark change. And I initially thought about it and thought it was a great idea, but who am I to do something like that?
Right.
But then I thought to myself, well, this is an opportunity. I knew when I was younger, I told myself, hey, if you ever get an opportunity like this, take it. And here it is, staring at me, and I wanted to not do it. I'm good with my life. Everything's good.
Yeah.
I don't need this. But I just couldn't turn away. and that's why I did it.
It's an honor to be able to ask you that question. It is something that I've talked about for years and years and years, and I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Finally, Ed, we talked about your jersey up there. That's pretty crazy.
Yes.
You put in 30 and 17 in a national championship game. 30 and 17 in a national championship game. And yet, here you sit underneath all these eyes, the Hall of Famers above you. What is that like for a guy with such an incredible basketball resume to be sitting here being watched by all of these other Hall of Famers and to have a live audience at the Basketball Hall of Fame today?
A dream come true.
Yeah?
It really is. This here is the ultimate honor. You know, I played basketball my whole life. Love the sport, love everything that it's given me. And to be here amongst the greatest of all time, you know, this is the ultimate. This is where you want to be. This is, you know, for a basketball player, this is heaven. So, you know, I'm really honestly at a loss for words. This is, you know, I see Lou Alcindor behind me with Coach Wooden. I remember walking the halls, the same halls that they walked in Westwood and at UCLA. And now we have the honor of sitting in a building that they are shrined in. You know, it's a surreal experience.
Thank you. Let's get to the hard questions now, shall we? Oh, look, we're going to lead with a tough one. I can tell, can't you?
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's get it going with some audience Q&A. Come on over. I have only 2 requests for the audience Q&A. You allow me to hold the microphone, so come on over to this side. And then you introduce yourself to Mr. O'Bannon before you ask your question. Deal? Okay. All right.
My name is Nate Hadas, and my question is, do you still play basketball?
You say your name is Nathan?
Nate Hadas.
Nate? All right, Nate. Thank you for your question. No, I don't play any more basketball. I'd like to, but I'm getting old, man. So the body won't handle it anymore.
Thank you very much, Nate. A round of applause for Nate. Excellent question. Thanks, buddy. I was thinking about that. Come on up. But that's the reason why I never dunk, is because I don't want to hurt my knee. Yeah. It's not because I'm 5'6" and can't jump. It's because I don't want to hurt my knee. Hey, how are you?
Hi, my name's Zoe, and my question is, how does it feel to be able to have won an NCAA championship with your brother?
Wow, great question, Zoe.
Yes.
It was great. It was an honor. It was everything that we had worked for. I'm 2 years older than my brother, so I don't remember life without him. And to have played junior high school with him on the same team as well, won a state championship together, and then at UCLA, it was a dream come true, not only for him and myself, but my parents as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent, Zoe. Thank you. Yeah, round of applause for Zoe. All right, come on up, big guy. Ooh, he's like he's coming in the game. I like that.
My name is Owen, and my question is, out of all the coaches that you had, which one was your favorite and why?
Wow, Owen, that's good. That's a tough question. One that I've often thought about. I will give the diplomatic answer and say I don't have a favorite. But no, they all have a special place in my heart. Jackie Myers was my very first coach, was my travel team coach, AAU coach is what we call it now. Wayne Marino, I absolutely love. He's a dear friend. He was a high school coach. And Coach Herrick was my college coach. He was there when I went from, you know, a teenager into a man. So they all have a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Round of applause for Owen. Come on up. This is the fun stuff, right?
Yeah, for
It really
sure.
is, yeah.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Drew. And who, in your opinion, who is the best NBA player you've ever played against?
Wow, Drew. Best NBA player I ever played against. My favorite is Magic Johnson. Magic used to rent out the gym when I was at UCLA, and I used to play. I actually got a chance to know him pretty well back in the day when I was in school, college. The toughest, probably the greatest, Michael Jordan. Started against him when I played with the New Jersey Nets. He calmly gave me 37 in one game, didn't bat an eye. I didn't sleep for 3 days after that, or 3 days before that. So that was tough, but Magic was my favorite to play against, but Michael Jordan was the toughest.
Thanks, buddy. The way that Michael did it, but not even breaking a sweat.
The transition from college to the pros. What are the 2 or 3 most important factors for a person being successful in that transition?
Another great question, Maurice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a tough transition, not one that is to be taken lightly. Understand where you are, in that transition. Your responsibilities, what got you there, the hard work. Continue to do that. That is key, and not rest on laurels or feeling that you've accomplished anything, because now, and it's the truth, the work begins now. Once you make that step into amateur to professional. So the transition, you have to work extremely hard, keep your nose down and just grind, as hard as you can. And what's the other part?
Oh, no, that was a question.
That was, yeah, just just grind. Work as hard as you can. That's really it.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're in the 8th inning. Got the closer warming up in the pen over there.
My name is Nori Butler, and I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite team and your favorite moments in the NBA?
Nori? Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you, Nori.
Nice to meet you too.
My favorite team is the Lakers. I grew up a Showtime fan. Magic Johnson, again, was my favorite player, next to Kareem. So I loved the Lakers growing up. Once I got to the NBA, it was hard to like anybody other than the Nets, which is the team that I played with. But yeah, I grew up a Laker fan.
Thank you. Me too.
Thanks, Nori. Me too. I like that. All right, the closer coming out of the pen. Get ready, Ed.
My name is Kingston, and I wanted to know, how many teams have you played for, and which one was your favorite?
Great question, Kingston. Thank you for asking. Wow, how many teams did I? Well, I played for 3 NBA teams. I played for the New Jersey Nets, so I got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and then played a little bit with the Orlando Magic. My favorite was probably the Nets. It was a short span. It was only for a year and a half, but I enjoyed my time there, and it was a dream come true to play in the NBA.
Thank you, Kingston. And ladies and gentlemen, can you give a Springfield 60 Days of Summer thank you round of applause to Mr. Ed O'Bannon? Wasn't that fantastic?
Thank you. Thank you all for having me.